Today's video is going to be all about sugar cravings and how to deal with them. What are some tools we can use to avoid caving into eating what we don't want to eat? You know, as a functional nutritionist, I get to talk to you and I listen to your struggles with dealing with a sugar craving and how detrimental it is, first of all, to your psyche and your well-being and how you feel about yourself. So many times I'm saddened by the fact that you're struggling with kind of a knee-jerk reaction to just eat something you don't want to eat. It's a thing. Sugar addiction, or the habit of eating something sweet after a meal, seems to plague many of us. That sweet treat, the decision that happens in your mind when you just figure, screw it, I'm just going to go for it. Or the unconscious response to all of a sudden you're down a half a quart of ice cream. Okay, maybe it's not that catastrophic, but you know what? Sometimes I find that you're struggling and I really want to see if maybe we can understand it in a little bit better way so that you have some more tools to deal with and have some, actual solutions in your back pocket that you use over and over again to maybe really get you back on track. I'm Connie Rutledge. I'm a functional nutritionist. I'm a menopausal fat loss specialist, and sugar cravings are real, right? Let's go ahead and talk about what's happening in our brains, how we can kind of remedy things, and stay till the end because I've got some good tips. So is it a sugar addiction or is it a habit? Ask yourself that question. Are you truly addicted to sugar? Well, yeah, we can probably say yes, we're addicted to sugar. We like that dopamine hit that happens once the sugar hits our system, and our brains are used to feeling a certain way. And glucose is a big piece to how our brain feels. When we're low in glucose, our body wants to change it, and it's gonna make you act in a way that the body's gonna get what it wants. So overriding some of that is a big trick, and we're gonna talk a little bit about that today. Let's break free of the sugar habit. Now, sugar-free is the way to be. There's so many hidden sugars in foods. So if you're eating processed food, which, we do on occasion, you're getting more than likely some sugar that maybe you don't realize, or maybe you do realize it and you're just deciding that's okay. And you get to choose, right? Are you one that starts and stops your diet? Are you one that yo-yos back and forth and you do good for 3 days and then you blow it for 5 and then you're back on it for 5 days and then you're off of it for 2 months? I mean, that is just a habit or a situation that seems to be chronic. Many of you are struggling. I want to help you with that. A lot of the times we're kind of talking to ourselves and deciding whether we're going to indulge in a sweet treat is because we need a dopamine hit. Our brains are so used to having a pleasant distraction that we just don't know how to be uncomfortable sometimes. We've got our screens. We've got YouTube. We've got Instagram. We've got social media. We've got our email. We've got television. We've got quick fixes all over the place. And it's a problem because we're not used to being uncomfortable. Sitting in a state of being a little bit uncomfortable is not fun. A lot of times we're looking for a distraction, and we can certainly have that with our phone. You can scroll and learn something new. You can scroll and find something funny. You can be impacted. Your dopamine happens, and you know what? You're feeling like you usually want to feel. So, leave sugar out of it entirely. What we do with our minute to minute with our phones is definitely kind of a telltale scenario. And it says a lot about how we maybe choose to eat. Because if we're looking for a quick hit, a quick fix, sugar is the way, right? Our brains are used to running with a certain amount of glucose. And when you've got the glucose on board that you're used to, you feel really good and maybe pretty satisfied. Well, we're scattered, we're distracted, we're not really sticking to the plan, and we want to feel better. So what happens? You need to really kind of understand what's happening. Decide. Take a long look at your daily habits. Make a choice to investigate what the real situation is for you. Is it truly that you're addicted to sugar, alcohol, online shopping, whatever it is? Get some help if that's the case. But if you just have habits that kind of take over in an unconscious way, let's identify what that is. Let's identify the fact that maybe we're going to choose to be uncomfortable. And when I mean uncomfortable, I'm talking about maybe you're going to forego that sugar after the meal or in between meals. Maybe you're going to really kind of plan to be miserable. And not that I want you to be miserable, but you got to get past it. And about, I'd say 3 to 5 days of you really towing the line and being super compliant with your plan will certainly help. It'll get the ball rolling and you'll feel more successful. But how are you feeling when you're not eating sugar? And is there anything that you can eat to make you feel better? You're the one that makes the rules for you, okay? Decide what makes sense. Maybe you are wanting to follow the macronutrient ratios that we decided in your jumpstart session, and you're just not having success. Then decide that you plan out your day. Decide that you're going to eat in 1, 2, or 3 feeding windows, which is fine. You get to make that decision. And maybe you plan your meals for that week or that day and stick to it. Make a decision about how you're eating. Make a plan and stick to it. If you plan to go out to dinner and splurge, then that's part of the plan. Don't be disappointed and don't feel like you're failing if you planned on having something that wasn't ideal. Getting in sync with your plan and making a choice is critical to your success. This takes effort. When you pull back on the sugar intake, you might have some uncomfortable side effects. Make sure that you have a high protein solution. Plan ahead so that you have everything you need in front of you and you just go for it. If you're going to eat chicken, make sure that it's cooked, cut, and ready to be used in a salad. If you're going to have salmon, make sure that's available. Make it easy on yourself and just do it. You can use some tools like L-glutamine. L-glutamine powder is an amino acid, and L-glutamine is a great tool to cure cravings in an instant. L-glutamine quickly converts to glucose in the brain without eating sugar. So you're going to have that level of support. You're going to have the brain feeling like it's normally used to feeling without eating the sugar. It's a wonderful tool. L-glutamine will shut down cravings. It can help maintain and balance serotonin. Serotonin is that feel-good hormone. And L-glutamine also has great effects on appetite control. So how do you use it? All right, L-glutamine is an amino acid. It can come in powder form, it can come in capsule form. You don't want the tablet form, but you can put 500 to 2,000 milligrams in a little swallow of water or a bottle of water, and you can sip on that all day long or a couple times. You can use it, up to probably about 5 to 6,000 milligrams or 5 grams of L-glutamine in a day. Give that a try. You can work up to that, but sprinkle some L-glutamine under your tongue or in your water and have that on board to see if it might just help with your sugar cravings and your appetite control. Another trick I have clients play with is talk to yourself. It's, 15 minutes after your really yummy breakfast scramble. You've had eggs and sausage with some vegetables, and you feel like you've eaten a solid meal, but you have a sugar craving. Okay, you can try putting some glutamine directly under your tongue and letting that dissolve sublingually and your brain absorbing it. That, to me, is like a distraction, which is pretty good. It does work sometimes. You can take a walk around the block. You can brush your teeth. You can write an essay. All right, what is it that you're needing in that moment? Because your body takes time to process, and if you've had a high protein meal, quality carbohydrates, you're feeling physically full, but you're having a craving, give it a half hour. Maybe set your cell phone timer for 15 minutes and get busy with something else. A lot of times you can move on and get past that craving, okay? Maybe you have a cup of herbal tea to sip on so that you're distracting yourself from the habit of eating the candy or ice cream or whatever it is that you do treat yourself with. Having a distraction like your cell phone, like the walk, like brushing your teeth, like putting some, L-glutamine powder in your mouth to kind of do something else while you're dealing with whether you're going to cave in or deal with your craving is a real trick. So think about it in that fashion. Sit with it for a minute. What is it that you're craving? Why do you want something sweet? You know you don't need it. Is it a habit? A lot of times it's a habit. And a lot of times you just need to kind of get past that timing of that indulgent. And then within 2 to 3 days, you're kind of over it. I also suggest that if you really can't get past the craving, that you be completely present for when you put whatever it is into your mouth and sit with it. Okay, that first bite is critical to whether you're going to have a second bite. And I'll then suggest that you sit down with pen and paper and give me an essay on what it's doing for you. How does it taste? Explain the exquisiteness of whatever it is that you choose for, to support that craving. That's a big one. If you can sit down and journal what it is that you are getting from that first 2 bites and really identify what it's doing for you, I think that might be a really good way for you to kind of move past, what's going on. Because a lot of times it's not the brownie, it's not the chocolate almonds, it's not the caramel. It has more to do with where you sit in your head. And so many times when you're in your head and you're not really residing in the physical, you just are unconsciously unaware until it's too late. And then you're so discouraged with your choice. You're so beating yourself up because you didn't stick to your diet, or, you're deciding that, well, I blew it. I'm just going to go ahead and eat X, Y, and Z. Not smart. You're not going to succeed. You're not going to feel like you want to feel. And I support you in making a choice to dive into something that, is naughty. You get to choose that. but feeling discouraged and feeling like a failure because you chose to eat something, that's not smart. That's not healthy. Feeling healthy, feeling successful, feeling powerful and in control, that's where the magic is. So let's summarize here. All right, we're talking about overcoming your sugar addiction, or let's call it your sugar habit, because I don't think you're addicted to sugar. You enjoy the taste. It feels good. Your body feels good once you eat it for a minute. When that craving happens, ask yourself, am I thirsty? Did I get enough protein at my last meal? Am I hungry? If you're truly hungry, then eat a can of sardines. If you have true hunger, have 2 hard-boiled eggs or a burger patty. Let's be clear. If you have true hunger, protein is going to be the first way to solve the problem in a way that's going to help with fat loss. Okay, let's qualify that. If the sugar addiction or the sugar habit is something that has you by the throat and won't let go, then use some tools. Try the L-glutamine. Sit with yourself. Decide what it is that you're needing. Is there an emotional component? Are you not willing to be uncomfortable? A craving will happen and you're not going to feel right, okay? But understanding that you can distract yourself and in 15 minutes that craving could go away, give that a try. If truly in 15 to 20 minutes you're still dying for whatever it is, sweet, XYZ, then I want that first bite to be completely understood how it affects you. Enjoy the dopamine hit. Enjoy the flavor of it. Write me an essay and decide whether you're going to have the second bite. Completely, if it's a piece of chocolate, which is perfectly fine if it's 1 or 2, don't let it touch your teeth. Savor it. Slow down, okay? Slow down, get clear on what's happening in your head. Don't knee-jerk reaction and just cave in and gobble, okay? Take a minute. Clarify what the deal is between your ears, okay? Find out if you can enjoy thinking a different thought. Enjoy sitting with the thought of enjoying that food. Maybe you fantasize about putting that chocolate into your mouth and what is actually happening when you do that without the actual food. These are tricks. These are tools. These are ideas that might help you kind of tease out why you have habits that you don't enjoy. Make a plan. Stick to it. Take notes. These are ways for you to feel powerful, empowered, and in control. I hope this was helpful. If you do need help and you feel like you're not finding answers on your own, I'd love to see you in my Jumpstart session online. You can go to my website, ConnieRutledge.com, and scroll down, schedule an appointment with me. It'll be fun. You can go down to the show notes and find all of the tools that I use in my practice and in my day-to-day, the products that I buy to support my process. Because you know what? I'm no different than you. I've just had more tools. I've just had more practice, and I feel like, I'm successful in my process. I'm not perfect, but I do have resources that you might not have. Eating clean is essential. thinking clean is even better, okay? You deserve to feel good. I'm so excited for you to have the resource, okay? Thanks for being here. Thank you for supporting me. I'm so grateful, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.